Hello everyone, I am Ajay Murkute, Department of English, Arihant College of Arts, Commerce and Science. Today we are going to learn Unit 4, Muhammad Yunus and Economics for Peace by Farida Khan. About the author, Dr. Farida Khan has a background international trade policy and works on development in South Asia, primarily on Bangladesh. She has worked on topics related to capital goods, microcredits, gender, and more recently, environmental issues as they connected to indigenous people in India and Bangladesh. She is a professor of economics and co-director, Center for International Studies, University of Wisconsin, Parkside, USA. She has consulted with the World Bank and with the local law firms regarding economic issues. Her interest in consulting lies mostly in economic development issues in least developed countries or Asian countries. About the text. This is a remarkable story about the great efforts made by economists for peace, Muhammad Yunus, in the building of a new economy with microcredit system. It shows how he has succeeded elevating the evils of poverty through a unique method. Muhammad Yunus's story is the one of the innovation for the benefit for humanity, dedication, and concern for the world. Muhammad Yunus is the first economist to win the Nobel Peace Prize. This is in itself worthy of examination, a curiosity. How has economics cultivated peace? There is a question mark. The economic reason for war are far better known, as is the knowledge that wars have been instrumental in sustaining economic growth rates, providing jobs, and ameliorating the problem of insufficient demand. So, what is this newfound relationship between economics and peace? And why has Professor Yunus, along with the German bank, so, sorry, along with the Grameen Bank he founded, been awarded this prize? The Nobel Peace Prize is given to the person who shall have done the most or the best work for fraternity among nations, for the abolition or reduction of standing armies, and for the holding and promotion of peace congress. It is awarded by the 5 members, the Norwegian Nobel Committee appointed by Norway's sorting parliament. The Economics Prize, on the other hand, is founded by the Sverige Rikesbank and awarded by the Royal Swedish Academy of Science. The 2006 Nobel Committee said that the prize was given to Muhammad Yunus and Grameen Bank of Bangladesh for their efforts to create economic and social development from below. Lasting peace, the formal announcement said, cannot be achieved unless the large population group find way in which to break out of poverty. Poverty microcredit is one means to achieve this, serving therefore to advance democracy and human rights. A banker to the poor. What have Grameen Bank and Muhammad Yunus done? What kind of connection can be made between banking, democracy, and peace? Yunus Grameen story is indeed unique. It begins with Muhammad Yunus's return to Bangladesh after completing his doctorate in economics and then teaching at Middle Tennessee State University in the United States. Yunus had been guided in this path by Nicholas Grogus Rogan, a unique thinker who created evolutionary economics and influenced Yunus in a ways that would help him develop the ideas behind Grameen. Gregorius Rogan made Yunus understand what without the human side, economics is just as hard and dry as stone. Yunus returned in 1972 to the newly independent country and began teaching in Chittagong University. During the famine of 1974, he was very troubled by the disjuncture between academic economics and the reality of people dying from hunger. He found it difficult to teach the elegant economic models which, when properly implemented by governments, were supposed to elevate destitution. At this time, he came upon Sufia Khatun, a local woman from the village of Jobra, who was weaving and selling cane stools. She had to borrow from the local moneylender to purchase raw materials and made a profit of a penny on each tools. Yunus decided to cut through the monopoly power of usurious leaders and increase her income. He gathered his students to witness a true lesson in economic development, as he lent money to Sophia and 41 others for their business projects. Yunus typically, poetically, Yunus poetically described what followed. When she finally received the $25, she is trembling. The money burns her fingers. Tears roll down her face. She has never seen so much money in her life. She never imagined it in her hands. She carries the bills as she would a delicate bird or a rabbit until someone advises her to put the money away in a safe place lest it be stolen. See the Mohammad Yunus, Banker to the Poor, Micro-Lending and the Battle Against the World Poverty, Public Affair, 1999. So this is the book by the Mohammad Yunus. This led to the establishment of the This leads to the establishment of an innovative group lending system where staggered collateral interest-free loans were made to group members who were collectively responsible for repayment. The Grameen Bank was formally founded in 1976 and is owned by its borrowers. What was astounding was the success of organization in strict banking terms. Grameen's initial repayment rates were at 97%, comparable to the most conservative of the large global banks. What was distinctly unusual was its clientele. 95% were women who owned less than half an acre of land. The formation of groups to borrow Grameen funds became a way to empower women. Being able to borrow and have their own enterprise for income led to a greater agency among women, giving them far more power and say within households, more education for their children, and asset building for hardcore poor households. At the same time, it resulted in objections and resistance from the male spouses and family members, and village power mongers such as religious leaders. The Grameen Bank went further than promoting financial and individual empowerment. It had a deliberate intention to raise social consciousness. The 16 decisions of Grameen that women would recite at every meeting addressed health and sanitization, repeal of dowry, and various other environmental and health measures. Interestingly, these, resem- these resemble nothing so much as the United Nations Minimum Development Goals combined with community building. Many say that Grameen has helped build a relationship of trust among the rural women and bankers, a new form of social capital in the face of increased fragmentation and destruction of traditional networks. What is without doubt is that the Grameen is an instance of economics confronting power. The success of Grameen was replicated in rural Ar- Arkansas when the Bill Clinton was governor. The Arkansas Good Faith Fund model was further copied by South Shore Bank and Small Business Administration in inner city areas of Chicago. Indeed, since the 1970s, the microcredit idea, originating with Grameen Bank, has been used everywhere. There is probably not a single developing country in the world where microcredit has not been tried as a measure to counter poverty. The World Bank experimented with the poverty alleviating for decades. Now it funds many schemes incorporating microcredit both in Bangladesh and around the globe. A media-friendly personality, Professor Yunus, has spread the idea of microcredit for far and wide and tirelessly advocated the nation that credit it is a human right. Grameen has moved on to other areas by providing housing loans, information technology to rural women entrepreneurs through mobile telephones, introducing pension schemes and reviving the production and marketing of handloom through the introduction of the Grameen check, now a popular fabric sold at urban retail stores in the Bangladesh, targeting to middle class consumer. Grameen Telecom is today the largest provider of mobile phone in Bangladesh. Mohammad Yunus's knock of finding and applying the right business ideas for rural Bangladesh is what makes him a remarkable development economist. His love for the village and feel for how the rural poor live shine through in his economic experiments. As banks tighten their credit in privatized world, increase poverty, misery and crime in process, microcredit, NGOs and the peacemaker will have to do their job. Band-aid as it may be to make sure that the violence of starvation and poverty is not perpetuated by the global government who have now all agreed to live by uniform code of neoliberalism. Indeed, UNICEF's program for alleviating poverty could equally have won him the 2006 Nobel Prize in Economics, though in the event that privilege went to Edmund Phelps, the theoretician behind the US Federal Reserve's anti-inflammatory strategy. So here are the some glossary, the words which you don't know the meaning of the words. You can read it afterwards. the questions on this chapter. First, Mohammad Yunus has done a lot to elevate poverty. Quote examples from the lesson to prove this. Second, discuss the idea of microcredit as evident in this lesson. Turn. Third, how has Grameen Bank spread its message and its influence around the world? Give example from the lesson. Thank you for attention. I hope you understood all the chapter. Thank you.